Make it. There we go. Richard, I had somebody yesterday that's a close personal friend of mine said, "Did you hear about Richard Bazzy?" And I said, "Well, I hope if it's good." And they said, "Yes." And about these scholarships at Steel Valley, I do have to ask you about this because I know you're so humble and all that kind of stuff. Now, I knew that you couldn't delineate or pick between all the essays, right? And so that was why a lot of what compelled you to give a lot of all the kids the scholarships or grant a lot of the kids the scholarships. I didn't realize how you set it up though. Somebody explained to me yesterday that did you say that two kids were going to win, but everybody was invited because it was a big celebration, and then everybody came and they got scholarships too?
Essentially,
Man,
essentially.
this is what I thought about how people say that this generation isn't appreciative or they're not or they don't work hard. I think that's false. And this is where I'm going with this. I think a lot of people have too many of the minority people, not people that are minorities, but people that don't work hard pegged as the whole generation. Think about all those kids that showed up that didn't think they were getting anything, that showed up in appreciative to be appreciative of other people. That happened. And then they were granted something. They didn't have to show up.
Well, it was kind of that, but more than that, it was they had to. And so here's where it's funny you bring this up.
But didn't 24 people show up just simply think they were celebrating others?
No. 26 people applied. So we've done this 4 years. First year we had one winner. And then I think 4, 11, and 18. They submit their papers and they show why and how they're going to use the scholarship money. And so we have a stack. So they all write something, and they're all so eloquent. And we read through them all. So as you read through them, and as I read through them, you can't. And they say, well, how many scholarships do you want to give away? Okay, let's give away 10. Well, we have 26 applicants. How many do you want to give away? Okay, well, 26. Well, how can you do that? Well, we can just do it because that's what we're going to do. We're not going to, we had 26 applicants. We're certainly not, how do you cut them off? If you read them, and this is where I'm going to take what you said and kind of go a little off kilter here a little bit.
Right.
Your CEO of Odyssey, Susan Larkin,
right,
is somebody that I know basically and kind of communicate once in a while. I've discovered that she and your group, Odyssey, has a focus on mental health. And I think it's called We Can Survive.
Right.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right. So We Can Survive. Now, where that intersects is out of those 26 applicants, and I told her this this morning. Out of that 26 applicants, 4 specifically mentioned mental health. Never before. We've done it 5 years, 4 years. It's never come up before. This year, mental health was a focus of 4 of the applicants as an obstacle to their academic careers, and how the administration of Steel Valley helped them through that. It was astounding to me. It really was, because as you sit back a little bit and you're above the dance floor, not on the dance floor, and you're looking down and you can see what's really happening, you get a better picture. It was amazing to me that mental health was so prevalent. 4 out of 26, and heretofore, none of them, 0. So I think that really, I like that because we are aligned, and we've always been aligned with Odyssey, and that really made me happy to see that. But thank you for bringing the scholarships. It's been quite amazing, the responses we've received and the support we've received for that. And even so many people say, well, how can you do 26? I mean, we just do. It's how many people applied. Well, what happens if 300 people apply? Then we're going to give 300 scholarships.
Wow.
It's just, wouldn't that be a wonderful world if everybody is looking for a scholarship that goes there. It'd be a wonderful world. And I don't care if it's tech. I don't care if it's a beauty school or, learn how to be a hairdresser. I don't care what it is. It can be a 4-year college, a 2-year college, something. And one of the things I said, and I said it on the Bubba show, actually, it's not one of the biggest things that I see in these young people that I never had. I didn't do this. First of all, I never went to college. And so one of the things I didn't do, we were all so caught up in making a living, getting a good job, making a living, getting married, having kids, supporting them, and aspiring to make a living. Instead of what I see these young people doing, it's kind of defines who I want to be now, but they're doing it a whole lot earlier in their lives. And instead of aspiring to make a living, the aspiration to make a difference. And that's so, it's just powerful to me. And I love that. And when you get inside these young people's minds and you see there's so much in there and they have so much to offer. And if we can possibly help them develop that even further, man, that's next gen stuff.
Well, yeah, I thought about it, and then I went and watched the piece, and it's not an overstatement. Like you're turning into this generation's Bill Campbell for those kids in that area.
People have said that.
I mean that, and I know you don't like taking all this praise and stuff, but no one makes you do this. No one makes you do this.
I do like that. The only reason I like that is because it does shine a spotlight. And I will tell you this, I received phone calls from competitors, from other car dealers that I haven't spoken to in years. And I was astounded by it. It's just been really astounding from everybody at Ford Motor Company. And I have great relationships with our parent company, and from top levels, their response on a Sunday morning, the responses from people like Andrew Frick, Marin Gaia, Rob Caffel, everybody, Mark Truby. It's just been amazing, the response. I almost can't believe it, but I do really appreciate you bringing it up. Because
it was just moved me. It really did. And to think that so many, you do bring up a good point. People and young people are compelled to help more than ever. Yes. And if you can help them help, why wouldn't you?
Man, it's really what it's all about. I mean, once you get to that level, you're obligated to reach back and pull somebody forward with you. That's life.
Man, great stuff. So what else is going on? What else is going on in sports? Anything catch your eye in sports this week?
No, it's all pretty yawn to me. The Lakers, the Lakers last night embarrassed themselves. Of course, they made a strong run back, but no, nothing really. How about you?
Well, you bring that up. I think this is a very good topic. Do more people watch the NBA in this area than we give credit for? The ratings would tell you yes. It's like we act like it doesn't exist, but I think a lot of people are interested in it in this area. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it, but then we come back to the question, the age-old question of can the city of Pittsburgh support an NBA team, which is a kind of a spin-off of that conversation.
Well, that's not the question, though. You know what the real question is?
What is it?
Is the city of Pittsburgh can really only sustain 3 pro teams. And if they had chosen to go the path of the NBA and not the NHL, the NBA would be thriving just like the Penguins.
Oh, I don't think I agree with that.
I think the population merits and our expendable income merits, we can only have 3 teams.
I don't think so at all. I think the Pens, they had, the ultimate Mario Lemieux, not just a performer, but part of the fiber of the community, who has really embraced the community. He's like a dream guy. He's everything everybody would ever want. He's like another Sidney Crosby. There's no flaws in the ointment, right? And so it's like a perfect storm. He had the opportunity to come in, save the Pens, used his name, used his charm. He was able to do that. That was a perfect storm. That couldn't be duplicated in my mind. And it didn't have anything to do with how many sports franchises we had.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. I guess what I'm getting at though is people say, would an NBA team thrive here? And would, but that would be the third team, not as the fourth team. Our city just can't.
But I don't know why you are on the third or fourth team, or how many teams we have. I mean, I know you talk about expendable income and all that, but I mean, we fill up stadiums for concerts. People don't say, well, I'm not going to go to this concert because I don't have the expendable income. You know, if you put a product out there that people want to see, they're going to see it, and they no matter what. You know, the Pirates. I mean, you think anybody would be willing to give up the Pirates for the NBA? Not a chance, because it's so steeped in history and culture. It's part of who the city is, right? We still live on Bill Mazeroski's home run.
You're right, and I will tell you, to lean towards the basketball argument of this, there was a time, not too long ago, that the toughest ticket in town, Steelers included, was Pitt basketball. That was true.
Okay, there you
when
go.
They had it going. So I would agree that people come out for winners, I think, in Pittsburgh, and that's not unlike any other place in this country. Yeah, every place is like that.
I agree with that. And so what market would compare to Pittsburgh that has an NBA team?
You know, there's not a lot that have four. Like Denver has four. Denver has the Broncos, the Rockies, the Avalanche, and they have the Nuggets. They're bigger than Pittsburgh. See, Cleveland just has three, and they have NBA instead of NHL. So if you want to look at it in that respect, they've traded one for the other, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's not a lot of markets our size that have all four.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I guess that's a legitimate argument, but I would really be willing to give up the Pirates.
Heck, Kansas City just has two.
Yeah. I would be willing to give up the Pirates myself.
Well, I don't know. I think, it's 81 home games. There's a lot of people that go down. It still creates and generates a lot of revenue for the area, and hope springs eternal. So there you are.
well, it's almost like here we are, right back. We were all excited about the Pirates with their winning, and here we go. Right
Boom.
back.
Who's the player in the NBA you like watching the most? Jokic?
In the NBA?
Yes. LeBron?
No, I think LeBron's tired.
Wow.
I think he's still great, but he wouldn't.
Embiid? No, they're done again.
No, who's the oh, I loved how he played. He lost, but he was in Dallas last year, and now he's what is he with the 76ers? What's his name? Starts with a B.
Wait a minute.
He was in Dallas last year, and now he's like a sixth man in Dallas. I love the way he plays. Plays hard.
Well,
who do you like?
Jason,
who do you follow?
Who do I follow?
Yeah, who do you like watching the most?
And I'm still not necessarily the most gigantic fan, but I still like LeBron. Does it for me?
Yeah. Is it true LeBron said that he'll play until his son plays in the NBA?
I think that's absolutely a goal of his. Like, it's something he wants to do. It's something like Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. But if he's still playing at a high level, you can't discourage it. I'd love, people in sports are seething to be detractors of things or wanting to hate on things because that's what sports talk does for some reason. And I think people want to do that. But if his game hasn't fallen off, I don't know how you can do that with LeBron. I think it's a great story. The real question is if his son is a true NBA talent, if he would get that same chance if he wasn't LeBron's son.
Well, he's going to get this. He's going to get certainly increased focus.
Hmm.
But where is he? Is he USC? Are you
He's
sure?
committed to USC. He'll be going there next year. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be a freshman.
Yes. So there's that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the NBA. I'll tell you what the NBA product does, much like the NFL, and why it's so good. The popular culture aspect of the NBA and the way they reach younger people is incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah. And I think baseball goes the opposite way.
Oh, I will give baseball credit for speeding up. I'll give baseball credit for trying to showcase their stars some more, making it to where they allow celebrations now. Like you see the players jumping up and down in the dugout. They have all these props they're using. Even 10 years ago, that was taboo. So they're trying to make it more celebratory, which is good, but it may be too far gone as far as a lot of people are considered. But these games rated 2 hours, that has to happen in order for anybody to be interested in.
Oh, no question. Yeah, no question. I can't watch it.
Not even at 2 hours?
2 hours pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours pushing it. But remember, in each of those other leagues, you have dynamic commissioners.
Right.
And I don't think you have that in baseball. I don't even know who baseball's commissioner is.
Rob Manfred is the guy's name, and he's kind of blah. But a lot of people don't like him. What he has done, though, is made the game shorter.
Yeah, he just, he's not dynamic, and I don't think his lack of dynamic transcends into the rest of the league. I think that we need that. I really do, but I'd give up the Pirates.
Yeah, it's like the fourth time you said that.
I know.
Yes. Now to football, real quick, to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Have you had you have a certain excitement I don't think you had this year. Is it excitement or is it apprehension?
No, it's excitement and expectation.
Yeah?
I really have big expectations for this team. I really have huge expectations of Kenny Pickett. My concern about Kenny Pickett is his penchant for concussion. And I don't know if it's a penchant or if it was just bad luck, but 2 concussions in a short period of time, I do worry about that.
I'm really worried about that. And I think there's something at play psychologically with the Pittsburgh sports fan right now that we think if we forget about that, it'll just kind of go away. But it's not going to.
No, it's not going away. I also had a really great conversation this week with somebody that you know.
Who's this?
I'm telling you, one of the smartest guys I've ever spoken to. And I'm going to read his book. Dr. Joe Maroon.
Oh, he's like a triathlete, and he's everything, and he's 80, isn't he?
I don't know how old he is, but
I think he might be like 80 years old.
Man, I'm going to tell you, his book, I don't remember the name of it. I forget the name of it, but it talks about his life as a piece of it. It's autobiographical. But you mentioned when we talk about concussion, and
right?
Of course, he's the concussion specialist, right? He's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah. Square One is the name of the book. Square One.
Yeah.
Him and Mickey Collins are like the 2 big concussion guys, right?
Big fan. Just such a normal, great guy. But so anyway, we discussed concussions this past week and how the Steelers have always been ahead of their. I think they established something 30 years ago that concussion protocol or concussion focus before anybody did, and he led that. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, back to Kenny. And
he's 82 years old, by the way. Joe
Is he
Maroon,
really?
82 years old, and I think at 75 or 77, he did an Ironman in Kona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Joe, I love you even more. I didn't know
that's getting it done. But back to Kenny. So outside of the head injury stuff, do you have apprehensions on just ability or no?
No. He's got the ability. I mean, he's got the ability. He just needs everybody around him to perform. And I think that, man, this general manager, Omar and Andy, just really, really smoked it. They just hit it out of the park. And I think that this team is ready to go. I really do. Well, and what about you? You don't think so? You're apprehensive.
I don't think they're going to be – I don't know what to think. I need to have it shown to me. Like, I know that that's a cop-out answer, but that's where I am.
It kind of is.
It is. The returns just aren't all in on Kenny. I didn't see enough of body of work to draw a conclusion. And I know that's an awful answer, but that's my truthful answer.
Yeah, but, you make me step out of my comfort zone.
Oh, I know. Well, okay, then I think too often when we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, we do it in a silo and we don't look at what's going on around the division. And I think the rest of the division is pretty good. And I think that'll be something that holds the Steelers back. And I think that they'll win 9 or 10 games. And if they win 9, they won't get in. If they win 10 games, they'll get in. I think they're 9-8 or 10-7.
Woo.
I can't go to I see people making them 12-5, 11-6. I can't get there. I just can't.
I haven't really looked at the schedule, and I don't think it really matters. I think, I really like the focus on the defense also. I don't know. For me, that would have been all I did. I would have focused on that defense. I mean, 1,000,000%. My goal would be shut out everybody. The end. Nobody scores on this team. That'd be my goal. Shut out everybody. Not 16 points a game, not 12. Shut them out.
Do you know that there was I think it was 1943 high school team in Aspinwall that played a full season, undefeated, untied, and unscored upon?
No, I didn't know that, and that's cool.
Yes. Think about that.
Yeah, cool.
And think about, I've thought about that. I've thought about this a couple times. Think about the heat and the pressure on the backups if they got put into a game late.
Do you know? Yes.
I wouldn't put them in.
Yeah. But you know what? Here's the great part. Now, I played football in high school and baseball, which I loved. I loved to play it. And I was a catcher. And that I love that because you're in every play. But, man, when you talk about football, and if you watch some of the old Pittsburgh Steelers clips with Jack Lambert, the way he hit, the way everybody on that team hit, they went through you.
Right.
They didn't hit and bounce off. They went through you. And I think I can remember being coached that way. Just drive straight through them. And
tackle through the man.
Go right through them. And I don't see that a lot. Like they hit, they go down. But, Jack Lambert would hit you and he'd keep pushing. He'd drive you back another 10 yards before you hit the ground.
I think part of it, I don't know if that's just the Steelers, though. I think that's league-wide.
Yeah, they're not doing it. It doesn't happen. There's no Dick Butkus. There's no Jack Lambert. I want to see that guy that plays with violence. I'm sorry, world. I'm sorry. I know people are not going to like that. But listen, this is a violent game. And if you want to play violent, you got to be violent.
Got to be violent. Fair enough.
Terrible.
All right.
But
anyway. Well, that's that.
All right, we're done.
We are. That's scholarships. So I can't get away from those scholarships. You've done very well. That's a great thing. It's a talk of the town. You know that, right?
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you.
Talk to you next week.
Colin Dunlap.
Richard Bazzy.